That's right, scholars. It is Friday. Looks just like every other day lately, but we will get through it. Thank you, Rebecca Black. And welcome to the Friday edition of ELA class as we are visiting Narnia and studying The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Today we will review Chapter 2, which you read yesterday or last night. I got some great comments, and they have been and are being posted to the website. And we will introduce Chapter 3 as well. So let's roll on into Narnia. As Chapter 2 begins, Lucy begins a conversation with this strange creature known as a faun. The faun tells her that he has never seen a daughter of Eve before. And by daughter of Eve, he means a human girl. When he says son of Adam, he means a human boy. He has never encountered a human before in Narnia. He tells her that she is in Narnia, and she has no idea what or where Narnia is. And he has no idea about the wardrobe in the spare bedroom. He thinks she's referring to another country called Wardrobe and Spare Bedroom. But he invites her to tea, and as we covered yesterday, tea is a light meal in the afternoon that the British like to observe, and I believe they do drink tea as well. And while at tea, they spend several hours eating, drinking, and talking in his cave. Now, I personally found it odd when she got there that there was no one else there, and he had invited her to tea as if this was a big deal. And I got the impression when they were talking that there would be a lot of other creatures there, but it was just her. And to me, that was a red flag right away that something was not right here. Well, after they finish talking, he then tries to lull her or put her to sleep by playing an instrument similar to a flute. When Lucy finally insists on leaving, Tumnus, the faun, begins crying, and he finally confesses that he was trying to kidnap her for the White Witch. Though Lucy reassures him that she is not angry, he escorts her back to the lamppost, and Lucy then goes back into the wardrobe, enters, and shouts to her siblings that she is back. Let's watch another video and see how the BBC, British Broadcasting Company, portrays Lucy's experience with the faun.
Are you a faun?
Yes. Yes, I suppose I am. Thank you. Should I be right in thinking that you are a daughter of Eve?
My name is Lucy.
But are you... forgive me. Are you what they call a girl?
Of course I'm a girl.
A human?
Yes, girls are human.
Well, this is delightful. It's delightful. I've never seen a human before. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tumnus, and... How did you get into Narnia?
Narnia? What's that?
Why, it's where we are. This is the land of Narnia. All that lies between the lamppost and the great castle of Cair Paravel on the eastern sea.
The castle of what?
Cair Paravel. I don't think you should worry. There's only one of you. And you. You've come from the wild woods of the west.
No, I got in through the wardrobe in the spare room.
Oh dear. Only I'd worked harder at geography when I was a little faun at school. You think they're very ignorant, but I never heard of the city of Wardrobe, not the land of spare room.
It's just back there, I think. It's summer there.
Winter here. It's been winter in Narnia for ever so long. And we should both catch cold if we stand here talking in the snow. The daughter of Eve, from the far land of spare room, where eternal summer reigns around the bright city of wardrobe. How would it be if you came and had tea?
I've never taken tea before.
Well then,
Really, I suppose I should be getting back.
it's just round the corner, and there'll be toast and sardines, cake. Not long enough. Make yourself a home.
Nymphs and their ways. Is man a myth?
Ready?
Such a cosy house. And that really is a wonderful tea.
Do sit. Do sit. One for me and one for a friend.
So, what's it like living in Narnia, Mr. Tumnus?
Life is beautiful here once. Midnight dances in the forest. The nymphs who live in the wells and the dryads who live in the trees come and dance with us, with the fauns. When the feasting, the treasure hunting, and the summers, long, long summers, and the woods green, and the whole forest given up to jollification for weeks on end.
But why isn't it like that now?
Now it is winter. Endless winter. It always will be unless and until
How long have I been asleep? I must go home. The elves will be wondering what's happened to me. Tumnus. Whatever is the matter? Don't. Please. What is it? Do tell me. Mr. Tumnus, do stop it at once.
my own father would never have done a thing like this. You see, I'm a very bad fawn.
I don't think you're a bad fawn. I think you're a very good fawn. You're the nicest fawn I've ever met.
You wouldn't say that if you knew. I've done a very bad thing. Taken service under the White Witch. That's how bad I am. I'm in the pay of the White Witch.
The White Witch? Who is she?
Who? I'm she who has all Narnia under her thumb, under her spell. It's she who makes it always winter here. Always winter, never Christmas. Think of that.
How awful. But what does she pay you for?
I'm a kidnapper. Would you believe that I'm the kind of fawn to meet a poor, innocent human child in the wood, pretend to be friendly with it, and invite it home to my cave, all for the sake of lulling it to sleep and handing it over to the White Witch?
Oh, I'm sure you wouldn't do anything of that.
Yes, you were the child. I had orders from the White Witch that if ever I saw a son of Adam or a daughter of Eve in the wood, I was to catch them, spell them with my flute, and make them sleep and hand them over to her.
But you haven't. You've told me.
But if I don't, she's sure to find out. She'll have my tail cut off, my horns sawn off, my beard plucked out. And if she's extra and specially angry with me, she'll turn me into stone.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. But please let me go home.
Of course I will. I must. I see that now. I hadn't known what humans were like before I met you. Now that I know you, of course I can't give you up to the witch. But we must be off at once. I'll see you back to the lamppost. I hope you can find your own way from there back to spare and what was it, a wardrobe?
I think I can.
We must go very quietly. The whole wood is full of her spies. Even some of the trees are on her side. Come. Daughter of Eve, are you sure you know your way from here?
I think I can see the wardrobe door.
Be off home as quick as you can. And can you ever forgive me for what I was going to do?
Yes, I can. You won't get into trouble on my account.
No, certainly not. Farewell, daughter of Eve. Oh, may I keep the handkerchief?
Of course. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's time to do our discussion of Chapter 2. If you are doing this video with family members, siblings, or friends, I encourage you to stop the video at each slide and discuss it among yourselves. I also encourage you to write your answers on a sheet of paper, take a picture, and email them to me at gekelley@jmcss.org. That is not required, but I will give you a shout out and some encouragement and be very proud of you for your effort. So first off, why do you think Lucy felt so comfortable in the fawn's cave? She seemed very much at ease, not afraid. Have you ever been like Lucy? Have you ever been in a dangerous place without realizing the danger in which you were sitting? Why do you think it took Lucy so long to understand the danger that she was in? It wasn't until the very end that she figured out the situation. And have you ever been in that situation? Has it ever taken you a long time to figure out a person's true bad intentions? After Tumnus confessed his intentions to Lucy, she was still very kind and still very forgiving. Would you have reacted in that way toward Tumnus? Why or why not? As Tumnus continues to speak, we learn that he has been pressured into doing something that he knew was wrong. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been pressured into doing something that you knew was wrong? And if so, how did you handle the situation? Tumnus is being pressured by the white witch who rules the land. But in your case, though, it usually comes from friends or peers. It can come from adults, but most of the time in your case, it comes from friends or peers. And we call this peer pressure. Let's watch a brief video about peer pressure. Actually, I had to redo my video because once I posted it to YouTube, it was quickly blocked because of a copyright violation that the maker of this video somehow identified. So I would like for you to watch this video, but in order to do so, you'll have to go there independently. So go to YouTube, search for Small Talk, Peer Pressure, CBC Kids. Cute little video about overcoming peer pressure. It is time to introduce Chapter 3. So first we will review several vocabulary words. Some of these words are just new to us as sixth graders. Others are British words or terms that we don't use here in the United States. So the first one is batty. When Lucy comes back in, one of the siblings says that she is batty, and that means crazy. Another word you will hear is wrapped, and they are definitely not referring to what we do as rapping here on the radio with artists like Blueface. Rapped in British terminology means knocked. So if I rapped on the door, I knocked on the door. A hoax is a trick. So if I were to play a joke on someone and fool them for a while, that would be a hoax. Spiteful means mean and hateful. For example, if my sister got mad at me and began to just be mean and rude to me all the time, we could say she was being spiteful. Groping in British terms means feeling around in the dark. So if the lights are out and a person is trying to get through the room without knowing what furniture lies where, they are groping about the room. Sulking means pouting or being mad because you didn't get your way. So if my mom told me no, for example, and I went out to the barn and just sat there and refused to come back in for dinner, you could say I was sulking. I was pouting. I was acting upset because she didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. A sledge is a sleigh, like Santa Claus's sleigh, and we will read that Edmund encounters someone who is riding on a sledge. A Shetland pony is a type of horse, and they are very small, but also very strong. Gilded means covered with a thin layer of gold. A rug, in British terms, means a blanket used to cover someone's legs. When we say pray, we're referring to talking to God, but in British terms, they also use it that way, but it can have a different meaning as well. When we read the word pray in chapter 3, it simply means tell me. It's also used sort of in that fashion in the court system here. If you get a legal document, it will sometimes say that this person prays for a certain outcome. That simply means they're asking the judge to rule that way. Hereafter means from now on. You will read that some people sneered and jeered. That just means they made fun of. And when you see the phrase make it pax in chapter 3, that means to make peace or make up after an argument. So your Friday assignment is to read chapter 3. This time I want you to put yourself into Edmund's shoes and pretend that you are Edmund. Your challenge question after reading chapter 3 is, do you think that Edmund should trust the lady? You will see that he meets a lady and it ends at that point with chapter 3. And why or why not should he trust this lady? So answer it in 1 to 2 proper and complete sentences. Email your responses to gekelley@jmcss.org for the shout out. I will also post a brief weekend enrichment type activity that you can do if you would like. If you are bored on Saturday or Sunday afternoon, it might be something to fill your time. So feel free to do that as well. All right, take us out, Rebecca Black. Guys, I love you. I'm proud of you, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday.